are looking for a mid-size truck that has rugged off-road character and practically endless off-road capabilities, it's the only convertible truck you can buy. And it offers a bigger back seat than any of its competitors. Well, you might find yourself looking for a 2022 Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. That's what we're going to take a look at today, thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town & Country. And I know a lot of you have been searching for this model because YouTube tells me that the search volume for this Gladiator is pretty high. So let's take a look at exactly what we have. And if you're wondering what's new for the 2022 model year, the Sport trim level gets the 7-inch touchscreen with smartphone integration as standard, and all trims get the previously optional 8.4-inch screen, Alpine audio system, and on-board navigation as being standard. Now that is going to be everything above the Sport trim level. And while this actually is classified as a mid-size pickup, it's still classic Jeep. It just has that truck bed intertwined that puts it in the mid-size truck class. And here's the thing, you've got the red tow hooks not only here on the front end, but also on the rear bumper. And that way, when you run across competitors such as the Chevrolet Colorado, the GMC Canyon, the Toyota Tundra, the Honda Ridgeline, and the Ford Ranger, you will have no trouble pulling them out of the mud. And if you're researching Jeeps for the first time and you're saying, you know what, I really like diesel engines under the hood of my vehicle. What are my options with a Jeep? Well, you have it right here with the 3-liter 6-cylinder eco-diesel engine. That's right, this is a diesel option that is under the hood. It makes 260 horsepower and quite a bit of torque at 440 foot-pounds, mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And obviously you do have another engine option and transmission option available depending on what you want. The big question that I think a lot of people are going to have in this day and age, obviously, is MPGs. So let's talk about exactly what you have here. 21 city, 27 highway, 24 combined. And according to Jeep, per every 100 miles you drive, you should burn through 4.2 gallons of diesel fuel. And obviously something that is very important to being extremely rugged and off-road capable is the tire size. These are 285/70s wrapped around 17-inch wheels. And in case you're wondering, here is what the remote looks like. A very sturdy remote, very well made. And while you do have a key, that always reminds me of the switch combs from the 1980s. In fact, I think they still exist today, but there is your switch key, as I like to call it. But you do have that key in case you need it, but you also have push button start within the interior. But something that's interesting here that you just don't see a lot on two doors on most vehicles these days is the ability to stick your key in and actually lock and or unlock the vehicle depending on what your needs are. This Jeep can tow up to 4,500 pounds and has a payload ranging between 1,080 and 1,200 pounds. And one thing I like here, it comes with a bed liner, something that you don't see with a lot of trucks these days. You have to option that in, but not in this case. It's dealer added, so that's good. Hebert's Town & Country taking good care of those of you who plan on buying this model. And a very spacious bed. You have in-bed lighting to shine in when you're working after dark. That's helpful. A few tie downs. And you notice the window right there. It's not power, but it is nice to have that optional window to open up to allow air in. That is, unless you take the top off. Like I said, this is the only convertible truck you can buy. Do I really need to tell you? Well, in case you're a first-time person looking for a Jeep, yes, the top comes off, so do the doors. Unfortunately, by myself, it's going to be very difficult to remove that top. And like I said, you have more space than basically any other competitor in the back seat of this Jeep compared to the other mid-sized trucks that it competes with. And something else that's very interesting and unique here. Normally you would have map pockets, but I would call this material more of a map net. The same is used for the door bins at all four corners. And in a way, I think that's a benefit because it allows you to put more in there. You can put a large box of protein bars, or you buy some packs of protein powder, you can stick that box inside that area with the net material for your door bins, so to speak, and could actually have more than you would otherwise. And obviously you have dual air conditioning vents right here. You've got the power switches or switches for the power windows, and some connectivity options down here with USB and a power outlet. So quite a bit of option back here for the rear seat passengers as far as keeping their devices plugged in, charged, and working. And like I said, push button start right here. I'll start the engine up, turn the fan speed down so we don't blow you away with that, even though it is really hot today. I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the video with less airflow. But as you can see, and you've really already seen it on the outside of the vehicle, you've got a lot of red accents with those tow hooks and in several other areas, and it continues here into the interior with the red contrast stitching on the front and rear seats. You've got the Rubicon logo stitched into the seat backs here in the front seat, and the red contrast with the dashboard. I think that really looks nice. So it's not just all black, because obviously you have the black exterior and interior colors. That red really breaks things up. And overall, just a nice look here. The instrument cluster looking modern. It may not have been redesigned for a little while, but it still has a nice modern look to it. You've got the option for the analog and or digital speedometer. You can go through a lot of information through your steering wheel mounted controls. You have cruise control there. And something that is really interesting here that Hebert's spec'd into this Jeep is the fact that over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, I know not all of you have ever had this option in your vehicles, but there's that lever right there. It's called a turn signal lever. You know what that is? It corresponds with the turn signals on the outside of the vehicle. So when you're turning to the right or changing lanes to the right, you push it into the up position. And you'll see an arrow blinking to the right. And the same thing when doing those things to the left. Again, I know not all of you can afford that option because I've driven around you and seen that, but maybe one day down the road you'll be able to add it to your vehicle. Yes, it's okay to laugh. You have your air conditioning vents here pumping out plenty of air. That just, again, classic Jeep look. Something that, again, at one point was not classic of really any vehicle, but the infotainment screen, probably a little over 10 years common in pretty much all vehicles. Something in that range, but you've got a lot going on here that you can control there. You have the built-in navigation, and there's not just navigation there, as you can see. Quite a few options for helping you to get around when you're in unfamiliar areas, or maybe if you're one of those people who's directionally challenged in your hometown. Yes, there are people like that out there. You have that option there. It's easy to use. You do have heated seats here, so during the winter, or if you just really like a warm butt, well, I guess you can use that during the summer too. I don't know that I would do that, but it is there if you need it. Obviously, you're going to have the backup camera, and you can zoom in if you need to with that. A nice clear camera, trajectory lines to help you get lined up. All that good stuff is there. And then dropping down, we've got controls for the air conditioning. It is dual zone climate control here in the Jeep, so you've got that option if you want to use that. And controls for the radio, all of the other controls here for connectivity. You've got controls for the windows, everything you expect to find here, obviously. Four-wheel drive, all your controls there, everything to manage that area of the vehicle. And you have kind of a dual compartment center console here. You've got this smaller area that you can open up, or you can open up into the main area that also doubles as an armrest. And so one of the things that obviously a lot of people are going to want to know is, what is it like to drive with that 3-liter 6-cylinder diesel engine under the hood? Let's hop out on the road. We'll find out. Okay guys, we're gonna hop out here on the road for our test drive. And if you're wondering, does the diesel engine option that's under the hood of this Jeep sound like a diesel engine? Well, especially when it's idling. I know getting on the gas or getting on the fuel pedal, I should say, you may not be able to hear it as well, but when it's idling, you can hear that it's a diesel. Now, a couple of things I didn't touch on earlier. You might say, well, I'd better have a gas option. What are my options there? The 3.6 liter 6-cylinder engine. It makes 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque, and you still have your 8-speed or 6-speed automatic transmissions available in that case. You also have an adjustable steering wheel here. It's fully adjustable, tilt and telescopically. It is manually adjustable, in case you're wondering, is that a power adjustable steering wheel? No, it's not, but that's not a big deal. Yeah, I think most Jeep owners, especially when it comes to something like this model, are probably not worried about all the fancy bells and whistles that a lot of other people would be in some vehicles. Because, you know, you don't really need that stuff when you're off-road. Although, yep, there are some vehicles that get into the 6-figure range that are off-road capable, and they do have all those interesting bells and whistles on them. And what about acceleration? You might be wondering about that. Obviously, you really need to drive something like this for yourself to really get it, because I can tell you that for me, well, I'm pretty impressed actually. It does well getting down the road. It's not going to be neck snapping quick, but at the same time, it's not going to lag behind other vehicles when you need to get on it. So plenty of power, plenty of torque, plenty of get up and go, and obviously very capable off-road. I wish we could show that today, but don't have that option, not only because, well, I don't have a place to take it, but I don't know that Hebert's Town & Country would have me back if I did that. Don't think we want to do that. The ride quality, well, it's a Jeep, about all I can say, but it's not going to beat you to death driving down the road. Maybe, again, you're that first-time person looking at a Jeep and wondering, well, what is it like? It's not bad. It's not bone-jarring or anything like that. It's actually pretty comfortable for its capabilities and ruggedness, if I can get that out of my mouth without getting tongue-twisted all there. But overall, you know, being as capable as it is, it rides well, plenty of good acceleration. There's plenty of interior space here, definitely more than some of its competitors, especially in that rear seat area. So if you're looking for what could very well be the ultimate mid-size truck, well, this is definitely one you need to head on down to your local Jeep dealership and check out. And if you do go into Hebert's Town & Country, make sure to tell them that Tom from Vehicle Visionary sent you there. So tell me down in the comments, do you think that the 2022 Jeep Gladiator is the ultimate mid-size truck? It most certainly has a lot of capabilities that others just don't have, and while some are very capable off-road, I don't think they can quite keep up with this one. So tell me what you think down in the comments. Got to say a special thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town & Country for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.